comrades, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to continue our reading from the collected works of Comrade Kim Il-sung. The reading for today on expanding and strengthening party ranks and promoting the role of party organizations. This was a speech delivered to officials of the Poinsong Community Committee of Hongwae Province of the Communist Party of North Korea on the 13th of January, 1946. Comrades, it is already 5 months since we greeted the August 15th liberation. In this period, the political situation at home and abroad has been very complex. However, the general situation is developing in our favor. Today, the balance of forces between democracy and anti-democracy, progress and reaction on the international arena has undergone a fundamental change. The democratic forces of the world are growing and strengthening rapidly. The First World War resulted in the birth of the Soviet Union, the first socialist state, and the Second World War ended in the defeat of fascist Germany and Italy in militarist Japan, liberating many peoples of Asia and Europe from the imperialist yoke and making them advance strong on the road of democracy. How, then, does the situation stand in our country now? After liberation, our people set up the People's Committees, their own government bodies, everywhere, and progressive and democratic political parties, including the Communist Party and social organizations, have been formed and are now active in North Korea. However, as soon as they landed in South Korea, the U.S. troops proclaimed the establishment of military government. They are suppressing the People's Committee set up by the initiative of the people, and are making every attempt to check the struggle of South Korean people for the democratic development of the country by using the reactionary forces. What should we do now under these circumstances, and how? We should strive to establish a unified democratic government at the earliest possible date in Korea, and turn North Korea into a powerful democratic base for building a prosperous, independent, and sovereign state. For this purpose, we should first form a solid national united front and rally all the patriotic, democratic forces closely around it. We should root up the legacies of Japanese imperialism in all spheres of politics, the economy and culture, and introduce democratic reforms, thus guaranteeing the people genuine liberties and rights and improving their lives. In order to fulfill these tasks successfully, it is essential to strengthen the Communist Party. Our party is a true Marxist-Leninist party, around which the progressive elements of the working class and other working people have rallied to build a new, democratic Korea and accomplish the Korean Revolution. The successful carrying out of the Korean Revolution is unthinkable without our party's correct leadership. We should do everything in our power to expand and strengthen the ranks of the Communist Party and promote the role of it in organizations. As yet, our party has small membership. It is not organizationally strong enough and has not struck roots deep among the workers, peasants, and other broad sections of the masses. Poinsong County, for one, has only 70 to 80 party members as yet. The party cells have not been formed in many factories, mines, and farm villages. In this situation, our party will not be able to fulfill its historic mission properly. In order to strengthen the party, its ranks should be expanded rapidly before anything else. To this end, the closed-doors tendency should be thoroughly eliminated in the work of increasing the party membership. Because some party organizations make the mistake of taking a closed-doors attitude in the work of increasing the party membership, they fail to admit to our party those eligible for membership. The same is true of Poinsong County. One of the closed-doors tendencies manifested in the work of increasing the party membership is to put forth too rigid requirements and reject people eligible for party membership. As you all know, the level of political theory and ideological consciousness among our working class and other sections of the working people at present is not high. This is because they were barred from education under the protracted colonial rule of Japanese imperialism and had no political and ideological training in the past, for lack of a Marxist-Leninist party in our country. It is a gross mistake to disregard such conditions and try to admit to the party only those who are fully qualified ideologically and theoretically. Another closed-doors tendency manifested in the work of parties' numerical growth is to prevent eligible persons from joining the party by defining the qualifications of the person recommending party membership incorrectly, out of keeping with the actual conditions of our party. At present, those members who have been in the party for more than 1 year are entitled to recommend others for party membership. This is wrong. Our party was founded quite recently, and if the matter is handled as it is now, how can we expect large numbers of people to join our party? In the final analysis, the definition of the person making the recommendation should have been in the party for more than 1 year is little short of intentionally putting the obstacle in the way of increasing our party membership. We should correct these closed-doors tendencies. If we fail to do so, we will not be able to expand and strengthen the party rapidly. And those persons who should become party members in the natural order of things will join other parties. The party organizations should conduct the work of increasing party membership on the principle of boldly admitting and educating good people who have a high degree of class awakening and are enthusiastic about building up the country, even though their political and theoretical level is low. And under the present circumstances, we should not be so mechanical with regard to the length of party membership of persons making recommendations. We should see to it that all who are eligible are allowed to join the party. First of all, we should steadily expand the party ranks among the working class. We should be bold enough to admit to the party those progressive workers who have been tempered in labor for a long time, even if they are not as fully prepared as they should be. This alone will make it possible to strengthen our party and firmly rally broad sections of workers around it. In addition, candidates for party membership should be selected from among the farmhands and poor peasants of the countryside. And, for the present, the party should admit those active peasants who had been tested through the campaign for the voluntary grain delivery and in the struggle for the 3-7 tenancy system. We should also register progressive intellectuals and test them in the practical struggle before accepting them into the party. We should accept into the party large numbers of the best progressive elements from among the workers, farmhands, poor peasants, and working intellectuals, so that our party cells will be formed in all factories, enterprises, and farm villages. An important problem calling for attention in party growth is to improve the composition of the party. Our party's present composition shows that workers are very few, whereas peasants and intellectuals occupy a large proportion. This runs counter to the basic principle of Marxist-Leninist party building. We should conduct the work of increasing the membership correctly along the line of raising the proportion of workers in the composition of the party. In order to improve the party's composition, it is important to take correct statistics of party members. Like other party organizations, in the Pyeongseong County Party Committee, it too carries out this work incorrectly at present. If one only counts the number of party members and fails to analyze their composition, just as you are doing, it is impossible to build up the party's ranks qualitatively. The country party committees should always be mindful of the party member statistics, and by analyzing the composition of the membership, steer the work of increasing its membership in the right direction. In particular, we should strive to ensure the purity of the party's ranks. It will not do to admit every man jack indiscriminately into the party on the pretext of expanding the party's ranks. Because some party organizations have conducted the work of increasing the party membership carelessly in the past, many impure and alien elements have sneaked into the party's ranks. We would clear out all of them from the party's ranks and keep a sharp lookout so that no pro-Japanese and alien elements can worm their way into the party. While steadily expanding the party ranks, we should deeply be concerned about securing the party's unity in ideology and purpose. These days, factions have appeared within some party organizations in Hongwei province, and each faction shows a tendency to bring over party members. We cannot strengthen our party without putting an end to such factional tendency. We should give a sharp rebuff to the factionalists and wage a resolute ideological struggle against every party practice that interferes with the unity and cohesion of the party. We should firmly unite broad sections of the masses around the party, while consolidating the party's ranks organizationally and ideologically. The revolution cannot be carried out by party alone. It can be victorious only when the broad masses of the people are mobilized. Therefore, we should always endeavor to rally the masses around the party. In order to win over the broad masses, we should actively unite them in mass organizations such as labor unions, peasants' associations, youth organizations, and women's union organizations, and work properly with these organizations. We should first draw the workers of all factories and enterprises into labor unions and strengthen the guidance of them, so that the vanguard role of the working class is heightened and the building of a new Korea. At the same time, we should unite the peasant masses in the peasant associations and organize and mobilize them at first to struggle to the lower farm rents, and then gradually to struggle to confiscate the land of the landlords. Through such an actual struggle, we should further cement the alliance of the working class on the peasantry and rally them closely around the party. We should also work efficiently to unite the youth around the party. Young people always play a great role in the social revolution and the building of a new society. In order to give a proper education to young men and women of the new Korea and organize and mobilize them for nation building, we should energetically draw them into the youth organizations. The party organizations should also pay close attention to the work of uniting the women, an important force of our revolution, in the women's union organizations. We should intensify the party's guidance of social organizations and ensure that the party members go deep among the masses and exert great party influence on them. If we are to build a new Korea successfully, we should strengthen the work of the United Front. The party organizations should form a solid national united front through intensified work with patriotic, democratic political parties and groups, and organize and mobilize its united force to struggle for building a prosperous, independent, and sovereign state. By forming a united front, we do not mean joining hands with pro-Japanese elements and traitors to the nation. In any event, we should form a united front only with those who love the country and love the people and democracy. We cannot compromise with pro-Japanese elements and traitors to the nation, and should not pin any hopes on them. We should not try to leave out even those who served passively with Japanese imperialist establishments. We should clearly understand that if we win over and rally as many people as possible around our party, the enemy will be isolated and our revolutionary forces strengthened so much the more. Next, we should further intensify the party's information work. There is nothing special about the party's information work. To explain intelligibly to the masses what our party is advocating, what the liberated people of Korea should do, and other problems is precisely the party's information work. We should acquaint thoroughly the masses of all strata, workers, peasants, intellectuals, youths, students, tradesmen and manufacturers, and men of religion, with the character of our revolution. We should be solved in this revolution and how to struggle to be established a unified democratic government. Today, our people are very eager to build their country, but they are not sufficiently aware of which path Korea should follow, what they should do, and how. And as a consequence of the Japanese imperialist malicious propaganda against communism in the past, and affected by the sectarian activities of the factionalists, many people still have a distorted idea of our party, and some politically unawakened people lend an ear to the false propagation and propaganda of reactionaries, such as the pro-Japanese and pro-American elements who sell out the national interests. Under such circumstances, a very important problem is posed of strengthening the party's informational work. If our party does not intensify information work, the people may be fooled by the reactionaries' misleading propaganda, and this will seriously regard the work of the nation building. We should lead the masses of the people along the right path through intensified information work by the party. Information work should be better conducted particularly in the Sarwan region, since it is inhabited by the many vacillating religious believers. A lot of reactionary rumors can circulate there because it is situated close to the 38th parallel. You are little concerned with the party's information work at present, and are conducting it with no clear aim or focus. If the work is to be successful, its aim and focal point should be clear. The focus of the party's information work at present stage should be on heightening the political awakening of the masses from all walks of life by informing them clearly of our party's political line. The revolution we are now carrying out in the anti-imperialist, anti-feudal democratic revolution, and the Korean people are confronted with the task of setting up a unified democratic government. Therefore, we should explain and propagate on a broad scale the character and immediate task of the Korean Revolution to party members and the masses, thereby inspiring them to contribute to the building of a new democratic Korea. Meanwhile, we should strengthen the work of exposing and denouncing all crimes of the Quishlings and reactionary elements before the masses to prevent them from placing any hopes on the reactionary clique. We should mobilize competent people from the party and social organizations to carry out information work actively. The party's information work will be successful only when it is conducted deep among the masses in keeping with the actual conditions. Party organization should strengthen the party's information work first among the workers so that they, deeply conscious that they are masters of the factories and the nation, firmly defend their factories and enterprises from the enemy's subversions and extort every effort to build a new country. Besides, the party organization should intensify among the peasants explanatory work and information work concerning the peasant movement for voluntary grain delivery and arouse their patriotism, and at the same time, encourage the peasants to be active in the effort to introduce the 3-7 tenancy system, and furthermore, in the struggle to acquire their own land. We should also strengthen explanatory work among the intellectuals, so that they will take active part in the management of factories and enterprises and devote themselves to the education of the younger generation. The party organizations should also carry on information work effectively among the tradesmen and manufacturers. These people should be infused with patriotism and inspired to fulfill their national duties in the building of a new country. We should explain to them explicitly our party's policy of guaranteeing them freedom of business activity, to see to it that they participate with the will in making the country and people prosperous and run their enterprises effectively. Success in the party's information work requires the participation of all party members. They should always be in the forefront, educating and guiding the masses. Just as a stone thrown in the quiet lake starts a ripple that spreads all over the lake, every party member should educate tens and hundreds of people and arouse them to the building of a new country. One of the important tasks confronting the party organization at the present is to intensify the guidance of the people's committees and increase their role. We should expel all alien elements and loafers who have sneaked into the people's committees, and build up the people's government bodies with good people ready to work devotedly for the people. In particular, the country party committees should pay close attention to the work of solidly building up the personnel of the country's people's committees, and they should always be on the alert and prevent any pro-Japanese elements and traitors to the nation from worming their way into the people's committees. The county party committees should give correct guidance to the county's people committees so that the latter may direct every effort to the immediate task of stabilizing the people's living. At present, there are many people in our country without a job, and the people's living conditions are very difficult. If this problem is left unsolved, the work of nation building cannot be carried out properly. In order to stabilize the people's living, it is essential first to restore and operate the factories and enterprises damaged by the Japanese imperialist scoundrels. Only then will we be able to provide jobs for the unemployed, those who have returned from conscription, labor drafting, and patriotic service corps, and those who have come home from abroad, and turn out consumer goods essential for people's living. The county party committees should see to it that the people's committees take charge and efficiently carry out all activities: restoration and reorganization of factories and enterprises, voluntary grain delivery, collection of taxes, and so on. By so doing, they should stabilize the people's living as soon as possible and correctly organize and mobilize the masses to nation building. I hope that you will make every effort to expand and strengthen the party's ranks and heighten the role of our county party committee, thereby greatly contributing to the development of the party and the building of a new democratic Korea. I want to thank you, comrades, for joining today for the reading of On Expanding and Strengthening Party Ranks and Promoting the Role of Party Organizations by Comrade Kim Il-sung. As always, this has been Study Juche, and until the next time, take care. Bye-bye.